In my early 20s, I interned in Bernie Sanders' office in DC after I had already graduated from college. And it was just a transformative experience to see what could be done to make change. And also, I had the opportunity to really work with lots of people who were working on Medicaid, who were working on economic services type of issues. It was shortly thereafter that I became a single mom and was really struggling, and I found that I was the person that we were fighting for.
I think a lot with Brenda, she really stands for these things, like in her heart and in her gut, and she's not afraid to push for that, and also is very knowledgeable about what needs to happen in order to make change.
Our politics are progressive, and I really resonate with me.
I think what Brenda brings to this office, or will bring to this office, is her commitment, her energy, and desire to help the state grow.
Brenda is fearless to do what is right, even when she stands alone.
We are leaving those most vulnerable people behind. We supposedly are working towards a stronger Vermont, but what we need to be doing right now is actually building from the bottom up. For 6 years, our state employees and teachers have been under attack with a constant threat on their livelihood and on their pensions. And when we look at the overall education system, when we look at the experience of our state employees, these are really the heroes of our time, and they are constantly wondering whether or not they're going to be given what they were promised.
Yeah, I think Brenda advocating for changes in the school system are really important. One example I can think of is my daughter the youngest one is in daycare, and it's really hard for them to find people to work because they're really underpaid. I mean, I think they deserve a way higher wage because I think the work they do is so important.
Housing in this state right now is impossible. Whether you are experiencing homelessness or you're upper middle income, there is nowhere to live. There's nowhere to go. When we're looking at housing, it can't just be what looks good in paper. It has to be what we are actually working towards need. In March of 2018, March 8th of 2018, my nephew, Kaya Siegel, died of an overdose. And he was the son of my brother, who died just over 20 years ago, also while using heroin. With 20 years between them, there still weren't the services that they needed to be able to survive. What I know is that we need to focus on harm reduction first, treatment and recovery on demand, including medically assisted treatment on demand, dual diagnosis support, and criminal justice reform. This is not a problem we can't solve, but we have to have the will to solve it. The administration had exited over about 2,000 people in July of 2021. Many of those folks struggled. Some of them died of overdoses. They had been doing well for the first time in their life. They had had access to services and supports. In September, we fought to keep them housed, and were successful to keep the people that were currently still in the motel program housed, but were unable to expand the program. In October, on October 14th, we said that we would not leave the State House steps until the governor fully reinstated the program, including the folks that were currently on the street and in the woods. And it took us 27 nights, but we succeeded. And because of that, people did not die. They did not freeze to death this winter. We have had a climate crisis for a long time now. And when we look at what's going on in our state and across our country, we just have an obligation to leave a better future for our children and to better care for the state that we all love. What I've seen over and over again is that when we come together and fight for something, we can win. And so when we're thinking about whether it be the governor's office, whether it be the legislature, none of us are doing it alone. We have to be doing it in conjunction with people who sometimes disagree with us. We have to be doing it in conjunction with one another so that when we really come into community together, we can actually win. I think that when we begin to pull back the layers of what is happening in the state and really know that there's a possibility to move forward, then we can build together to make sure that that happens. Vermonters are struggling, and they need us to do more. Join us to make a Vermont that works for all of us.